Recording. Action. So guys, I was saying welcome to another episode of Carpool Chats with Keshav. It is the second take. So the first take, the recording was off the mic. So this is, I think, the 6th or 7th episode, and in this episode we are going all the way back to the start of SmartQ, the start of my journey with SmartQ, the start of my interactions with the first few people at SmartQ, and who better to lead that apart from Bhaskar. He's the guy who I've been working with for the past 6-7 odd years, and thanks Bhaskar for making it on Thanks you, Keshav. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, and I'm actually very excited to have this conversation. After Green Tea with Zaki, this is the another video where I'm being interviewed.
Right.
So excited, and
Let's call this just a conversation, so no interview.
okay.
We don't know
That is great. A little pressure off.
Yeah, I think keeping it as a conversation was far more interesting, I would say. When it becomes an interview, it's like, okay, it's a little bit of a tense thing, tough questions. Here we win, there are no tough questions. There's just unwrapping things, or going back to the beginning and, learning about the stories that shaped SmartQ and its people. So
That sounds good. Let's have the conversation.
So Bhaskar, I know that you are like everyone else, and most people in SmartQ are also an engineer, right?
Yeah.
So mechanical engineer. That okay. So how many women were there in your class?
Women, I mean,
In mechanical engineering?
initially no one was there, but second year some diploma people joined, so 2 of them.
So your experience with, from even school, was it like a all boys school, or
No,
the school was
co-ed education.
Okay.
Yeah, but so I was a very silent guy in the school.
Okay. So most people know about like the SmartQ part of the story, at least a lot of people, but let's go before SmartQ. Let's go like, where were you from actually? Where were you born? Where were you raised? What was the kind of thing your childhood was in? How was your childhood basically? So yeah.
Okay. I'm born and brought up in Bangalore.
Okay.
Kannadiga.
Purebred Kannadiga.
Pure. Appata Kannadiga. So, schooling, everything was here. My childhood, I used to be, because I'm the first kid in the home, and we were in a joint family.
Okay.
My father has 3 brothers and a sister.
Okay.
So it was a big family.
Okay.
A lot of pampering was done for me.
For you, okay.
Yeah, so even though that pampering was done at home, I was a very silent kid in school.
So you didn't take the pampering to your head?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, so teachers used to like me, especially
Which part of Bangalore where you live?
Bhaskar.
So you've been there throughout.
Yeah.
The joint family time also
Yes,
was in
it's been 31 years, 32 years.
Okay.
Since the time my dad came here to Bangalore, he has been
Okay.
in Bhaskar.
And you are 30 years.
And I just turned
You just turned 31. Okay.
31. Yeah.
So when you were born, like around the time you were born, your dad moved to Bangalore.
2-3 years ago he moved, but he brought in the whole family 1 year before.
Oh, he brought in the family.
Yeah.
So y'all were all in some other place and y'all moved at once to.
So my grandfather he was the principal of ITI. So
Okay.
basically,
ITI. Okay, that is near KR Puram.
no, ITI is all over Karnataka.
Okay.
So every 2 years or 3 years, he used to move from place to place.
Okay.
That's how the family also moved everywhere. And when they were in Bangalore, my dad decided to come to Bangalore and settle here.
Okay.
Do his education, finish. I mean, he had got a good placement also. He was basically general manager QA in Titan watches.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so for South India, he was the head.
Okay.
So then he brought in the whole family from Bangalore. Then he was married here in Bangalore itself.
So he's the eldest of
Yeah,
the
he's the
brothers.
eldest.
Okay. And you have a lot of cousins, I'm assuming,
Okay.
who stay in and around your house.
Yeah.
Very nice. It's always good to have.
Everyone are near, within 5 to 10 kilometers only.
Okay.
So whenever we have a get together, it feels like it's a big function.
Even a small thing is like at least 25 to 40, 50 people.
Yeah, around 40, 45 people.
As a minimum crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the good thing that our parents have done is that we have a lot of cousins. Or grandparents.
Grandparents, yeah.
They have had a lot of kids.
True.
So we have a lot of cousins.
Yeah.
To have company and good time with memories, etc.
Very true.
Even in my case, my granddad, my mother's dad, he had 12 kids.
Wow. Okay.
So that next generation, each one had at least on an average 2 to 3. So it's
Huge
family. Yeah. Now some of my cousins have some of my cousins' kids are my age. So it's like it's grown like that. So yeah, and this is just the mom side. No, even dad side is they are like not 12 but at least like five children. So
Wow.
a good set of cousins on both sides.
Nice. I think both sides of my family, my dad's side and mom's side, the max was 5.
Oh, is it?
Ceiling. Yeah. But my aunt, her family, like basically my mama's wife, they are 9 kids, and
Okay.
all 9 are females.
Oh, crazy.
So they have a very big family.
Does any of them stay with your mama, or like all of them are married and?
Yeah, all of them are married. The first sister's daughter is the same age of my aunt.
Okay, the last daughter.
She is 7th person,
Okay.
and there are 2 more after that. So
Yeah, this happens. At one time, my mother's mom was also pregnant, and one of my mother's sister was also pregnant. It's crazy.
it's a good Bollywood story.
My mom has a lot of stories of her. She was born in Mysore, brought up in Mysore, so
Oh, okay.
she has a lot of nice stories of her family.
Nice.
But yeah, coming back to your this thing. So with such a good set of family around you, how did that shape your childhood? I know you were pampered, and then but what beyond that? Like, did you what was the kind of exposure you got, or what was the kind of how did you all what was your childhood ultimate fun kind of memories that you have?
Every weekend we used to go to a movie.
Movie with your
Yes,
cousins.
there was, and like my uncles, aunts.
Okay.
Someone would have taken
Okay.
us to movies, exhibitions, and I think I have explored Bangalore more during my childhood than now.
Now you are exploring the traffic later.
I can get.
Oh, who has which bike? Who has which car? That's what you're looking at
Yeah.
on the traffic.
When I was a kid, we had a racing bike at home. One of my uncle.
Okay.
So my dad basically decided to get a bike, but my uncle also wanted a bike.
Okay.
So they got a racing bike called Endura.
Endura.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Which company was it?
Endura itself.
Enduro itself is a
I
company.
think that was a brand.
Okay.
Yeah. And
It's like a sports bike.
it's a sports bike.
Okay.
So if you take Endura, you'll get a Sunny Jeep free. That
Oh,
was the Sunny Jeep. That's the first moped.
Okay.
You would see like Activa wasn't there.
Right.
Even TVS heavy duty and all were
That
not
time it was Chetak, right? That
right after Chetak.
Okay.
Without gears, there was a moped was basically Sunny Jeep. So you buy a Endura, you get a Sunny Jeep free.
Oh, okay.
that was a deal. So we got 2 bikes at home, and every Saturday Sunday I used to. My uncle used to take us around.
Okay.
In Endura.
Okay. Crazy.
Yeah.
Nice, dude. So you got a bit of racing or like sports biking experience.
Yeah.
Sitting behind your uncle.
Like just to give you a visualization of that bike, it just looked like a dirt racing bike. With
Okay.
such high mud guards.
Okay, it's a like off-roader kind of.
Yeah, it
Rally bike type.
it looks like a rally bike.
Nice.
Yeah.
There's incidentally there's one bike called Enduro, if I'm not wrong,
Oh.
by KTM, which is
Okay.
which is like their version of a rally bike, Enduro. It's like the same rally inspired bike.
Nice.
In fact, such things. Do you intend to get inspired by your uncle and get a bike for all these wonderful Bangalore roads which have
No way.
so many potholes to save your back? No,
I think it will be even more tougher after getting that kind of bike
to maintain it.
to maintain it, and it was definitely giving a lot of adrenaline rush, but I don't think we have such kind of roads anymore here.
Hey, look at this. These roads are meant for off-roading. Bangalore roads.
No,
Only nice road, outring road which have smooth roads, you can ride a proper bike.
Yeah.
I would prefer like Expulse, which is like a what Shabira's.
Yeah.
That's like a perfect bike for Bangalore roads. You won't have any back issues or like any. The suspensions are so good and so tall that
Right.
I consider Bangalore roads as off-roading roads. At least the road which I take.
Okay, that's nice. But anyway, choice. I'm not more of
Not that guy. I know.
I like my Honda Dio, and Aether now.
Nice.
Yes. I don't like racing much, so I'm like I like more peaceful
So,
ride.
did you have any? Did you like? What was the experience that you had when you were on the bike that made you say, "Okay, I'm enough. I don't want racing. I'm at peace with just the."
No, I think this is
You have unnecessary stuff.
yeah I had few, so
Okay.
because this is associated with the job also what I do. I imagine things a lot. Whatever happens, twice or thrice multiplier is in my head. So especially during that time when we were going for these movies and expos, and we saw a lot of incidents happening in front of us.
Accidents.
And we also saw I once during the childhood I saw Sari getting tangled in the bike wheel, and the lady was choked.
Oh shit.
So, and our Sunny Jeep, by the way, our Sunny Jeep caught fire
Oh.
again in the expo when it
While
was
going
in an expo.
Just when it was parked.
When it was parked in the expo.
Was it what like it was a petrol vehicle only?
It was a petrol vehicle. Yeah. When my dad started to crank it, pick it, that's when it sparked. A lot of such incidents kind of made me feel like, okay, I need to be very careful with bikes. And I don't know if you had seen that video. Someone in Nice Road was spotted because the the guy who was coming in bike, there was a mishap where truck had a long wire and it stuck to his stomach and he was split into half.
Oh shit.
So seeing such things makes me like, okay, no way, no bikes, no speeding.
Yeah.
Better to
Can't be careful enough.
yeah.
Incidentally, my PCL tear also was because of a bike accident on Outer Ring Road, which was these. It was the roads like these. There was a lot of construction happening, gravel, and it was my friend's bike I was riding. He wanted to sit back and relax riding his bike, and I didn't have a very good hang of how tight or loose the brakes were. So we were going on a slightly gravel road, and I jammed the brakes, and the bike skid. Both of us fell, and yeah, that.
It's scary. Yes. You can imagine my situation. I multiply that by 2 seconds in my mind.
Yeah, but I've had a lot of fun while biking on the countryside, especially the mountainside countryside. Like that experience is
Where did like bike?
which we did in Leh, right?
Yeah.
Did you ride? Or
I
in the
tried
pillion?
Leh.
Okay.
But Goa and all these places like Gokarna,
Right.
it's a great place to.
How was your how were like when you were on the pillion? You were in the pillion side of the bike during any part of the Leh trip?
No, I was not part of.
Oh yeah. That
that
stretch you
Yeah.
couldn't make it, but we should do one more
Sir.
where we can experience that riding.
Sure.
What places come to your mind for the next one?
The next one is definitely Darjeeling and Sikkim. Wanna go there?
The Northeast.
Yeah.
Nice.
I had been there once and it's calling me again.
Nice. I've not experienced the Northeast. Maybe I'll plan for that once.
Beautiful view, great people, and their stories are so nice. Like especially when you go there, drivers who actually take us around, just hearing their stories would make you feel so good. And when they speak about that that side of nature and how they associate with the nature and all, it's a good. It is good experience there.
Nice. I think this is where a lot of our the work we do also. A lot of the inspiration comes from these experiences, the conversations.
True.
Like I've always seen the people who have the, like including myself also a little bit, not bragging, but people who are bent on the creative side have a lot of different exposure and experiences to things, and they are tuned in. They're kind of very in the moment, listening, observing
Right.
every bit of it. And I want to play that back as well, like with your childhood. Did you see some of these kind of, was this kind of apparent to you that this creative space, the marketing or design, this spaces where you ended up today, there were things in your childhood, younger days that you attribute that to?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the first attribution should go to my uncle, who is an artist as well.
Okay.
And not a full-time artist, but in his spare time he used to sketch, and we used to have fun. Like every summer holiday, I used to go to my uncle's house. It's in a place called, basically it's a place called Sringaspur, near Kolar.
Okay.
And every other day, like at least once in 2 days, he used to make me draw, sketch something, or he used to draw something which I used to observe.
Okay.
We used to have those days that, I don't know, you might remember when Rajkumar was kidnapped, Veerappan was all over the news.
Yeah.
So one of the days he actually made me see how Veerappan looks, and in that on the same day night, he and I had to draw Veerappan without seeing.
Oh, that was your task, like kind of a challenge.
I remember this, like more such things used to happen. Whenever I used to make really good sketches, he used to treat me with dahi bundi. So that was it was my favorite.
Okay.
In the village, there was a person who used to make it really
In Kolar, is it?
Yeah, in Srinvaspur.
Srinvaspur.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, that was the reward.
Nice.
And if
My mouth is watering right now. You said dahi bundi.
yeah, I'll make once.
You make dahi bundi?
Yeah,
It's just
I'll
dahi
have
and bundi.
no, or you add a lot of things to it, from onions to carrot to a lot of other
Carrots, grated carrot.
grated carrot, huh? And yeah, that was one part. The second one is Mad on Pogo.
Yes. He's still active on Instagram. Like,
Yes, I still
follow him. What's his name? Some
Rob.
Rob, yeah.
Yeah, and that had a huge impact on me.
Just for people to know, like I'm not sure if everyone's familiar. What does he do? What are the kind of things he does which sparks
Mad is music, art, and dance. So he basically imagines art, functional art, in different ways. Like from what I recall from those Mad episodes, he used to have something called big picture, which is more like out of the box thinking, making a large scale portrait, let's say 10 by 10 feet ka portrait, using multiple accessories, or let's say maybe multiple cardboard sheets, and electronics, waste electronics, such stuff. And he used to also do some simple functional do it yourself kind of art also. So all of these things kind of
a lot of craft related stuff also, where you can follow along with him on the TV,
correct,
and do it.
clay modeling,
Yeah.
and even the sketch and portraits, he used to give tips how to basically choose a character, how do you do in few steps. All of those things kind of sparked the creativity in me.
Nice. Did you do a lot of them at home as well? When
Yeah.
it was
I had my I have very close friends during my school days. Abhi, Gagan, there were few people like this. We used to do it together,
okay.
and that itself used to feel like a great thing. And that kind of indeed helped us build projects in school. We kind of made some impact and made mark in making good projects. We did some active volcano
Science projects, yes.
yeah, active volcano was a science project we had done.
Like you build a model of the mountain with the lava coming out,
Yeah,
kind of a thing, right?
And we made a live lava with multiple things. Like at that point in time, it was Coke and Mentos, baking soda, and then something else. So we just used to, whenever people used to come to see our project, we used to add it. Volcano. And we had done this Chandrayaan PSLV satellite also. So whenever people were coming to see our project, there was a person behind who used to pull the rope.
Okay.
And stage by stage, the rocket was getting dismantled and moving. Again, it was the same set of people. Abhi, Kagar.
Nice, brother. Yeah. So it's interesting kind of stuff. Once we understand the things behind it, like how we ended up here, connecting the dots back. Always interesting to see. Okay, all the small fun stuff is helping us today, right?
Oh, absolutely. I think even taste out of waste kind of initiatives which were done in school and in college, it was majorly those projects what we were getting, like a year-end project and 6 months project, So such things actually has pushed us to think creatively.
Nice. Which school did you study in?
I studied in Florence.
Okay. Is that there?
Basveshnagar, yeah.
Okay. You've been in that school throughout, or do you change
throughout.
schools?
I've been a very loyal person. Yes. Same.
I can see SmartQ is also proud of that.
Same school, engineering and MTech in the same college.
Oh, and which one?
East West.
East West. Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of your friends for life,
Yeah.
not only from school but like for college as well, right?
Yeah.
And many SmartQ early employees are also from there.
True.
East West.
Yeah.
How did you all figure out that okay, this is where we'll do our career? Yourself and
Actually, a funny story. When I joined, I actually had offer with Amazon, right?
you said
And
yeah.
when I joined here, it was like I was taking a risk, right? And if I had to feel that risk is less, I had to enjoy whatever I was doing. So one way of enjoyment is I am getting exposure of startup, how things are done from scratch and all of that. The other part is basically the sense of belonging. That was not very much coming true at that point in time. So I saw there was an opportunity that SmartQ needed more promoters to promote SmartQ app at that point in time. And I felt it's a great time to call friends. And that's how.
So you referred who all did you refer after you?
I referred everyone like Nitin, Nitin, Mahesh and Sharat were the first set of people.
Okay.
And then next 20 people. In the next 20 people batch, Manu was a part of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who else did you reference? Yes. Okay.
Yeah. And more people. Kishore, Abhishek.
Some of them are there. Some of them aren't there. Right? Kishore is who?
He's a video person.
He. Okay.
Yeah.
He worked for a brief period.
He worked for 2 years.
Okay.
He worked for 2 years in SmartQ. Yeah.
Nice.
More people. In terms of juniors, there were at least 7-8 juniors who were working with us.
Nice. At that point, we didn't have referral bonus, but if we had, or did we have referral bonus?
No. No. But I think the reward, definitely there was a huge reward. I read
Beyond just
sense of belonging.
yeah.
Even now that SmartQ actually has a culture of family, culture of college. Yeah, that's all because of maybe such bonding and people whom we were friends with. They kind of came and doing this. Yeah.
Nice. Interesting. So, even like when you took mechanical engineering, right? What was the thought behind it? Like, because maybe there was some sense internally you had about the creative side of that. Yeah. But did you see an intersection of that?
Yeah.
So what is
I attribute it completely to 3 Idiots.
3 Idiots, okay.
3 Idiots and Tare Mrs. Zabinkar.
Okay. Huge inspiration.
And in fact 3 Idiots was my like it was more like a decision making part of it, where I saw 3 Idiots during PU, and after that I always felt that I have to do something where I can do innovation. I can create something first hand by myself. And that's why I actually took engineering. And as soon as in the first year itself, I figured out that nothing in engineering was like 3 Idiots.
So harsh reality of in engineering college. Okay. So then you started pursuing something outside of like in your free time and stuff to get that fulfillment.
Yeah, like the same thing whom I have today, or whom we were working earlier also. So the same batch had very similar mindset.
Okay.
They all wanted to do something.
Okay.
So we did a lot of innovative stuff in college.
Okay.
Outside of our regular curriculum, we built a college radio.
Oh,
Yeah, and
crazy. How did you come about that? So anyone?
my seniors actually built it as a final year project.
It's an internet radio.
It is
Yeah.
low network, low frequency radio, which was only available within that college premises.
Oh.
Yeah, it was called.
So it's not internet radio then. It's actual like your
Not internet. They used to call it as low frequency.
yeah. It's like your waves. So your radio waves itself is giving you that. Internet radio is easier to set up. This is harder to set up.
Yeah. Oh, we struggled a lot. Our senior Hemant actually built it as a part of his project. Then we all wanted to do something about it. So we named it as Your Space 105 FM.
Okay.
Right from birthday announcement to some random stuff we were doing there. We used to have 2-3 radio jockeys from each year, and they used to have some quirky radio stuff which we were doing.
Okay.
Radio was one such thing.
So do you used to program the entire was it?
It was recorded.
It was recorded.
It was recorded every day. We were recording it and editing. I was editing in the evening.
Okay.
And next day morning it was getting telecast.
So you already had that build those skill sets of audio production. Not video but audio production stuff.
Yes.
And like, was it like time based or throughout the day it used to run?
It was time based. So radio was one such thing.
But I also want to get to know about the other side of like what I've observed is you go all out without having two thoughts when you need to help people who are in need, or even within your team, outside of your team. Like that's mindset of let me be of help to others, serve others, service mindset, right? Where do you get this from, and how did that get developed within you? I look up to that as well, to be honest. Many people also do. So where do you get that from? Or
it's a leader and follower mindset. So during my childhood, I was a part of this course called SSY because of my uncle only.
This Kolar uncle.
Yeah.
Kolar uncle has had a lot of influence, is it?
Yeah, a huge part of my personality building is from him. So and my lab.
Okay.
So I was part of SSY, and there we learned something called leader and follower mindset.
Okay.
So you have everything what you want actually. It's just the way how you are seeing things. So you have opportunity to help people. You also have opportunity, or let's say you have a choice of not helping people. What is that you want to do? So this is what they actually triggered as a thought in me when I was a kid, right? And whenever I tried helping people, there was some sort of satisfaction I was getting, and this satisfaction was something which I was not able to get by doing anything else. Whenever I helped people, the reward was not just that thank you, but it was that affection. It was that acknowledgement, which used to come back over and over again to me. It was like a multiplied reward.
It reinforced your behavior around that I need to do more of this as well.
Yeah.
People are able to benefit from it and they're acknowledging it.
Yeah. So the leader and follower mindset is you have an option, you have responsibility. Would you want to take an action?
Yeah.
And if you take an action, if you are the first person to take an action, people might follow you. Or if you are a follower, then you are basically following a herd. So that's where the thought was triggered ki I need to take action, maybe even if it is for the first time. It's okay if I fall, but
And SSY is what? It's a
Siddhi Samadhi Yoga.
okay. Where is it?
It's there everywhere in Bangalore. They don't market it.
So you went through like a program with them, and your uncle, suggested you to take that. How long was that?
It was 7 days or 15 days till I was a kid. Yeah. And
Was it a recurring one or is one
One.
day? Okay.
my dad also took it.
Okay.
And after taking that, he left he left L&T. He was a quality control head at L&T. He left L&T. He started personality development process.
Mm-hmm.
So SSY had a huge impact on our family.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Good, bro. I think things when you pick up such key traits when you're young, it just sticks with you and can just multiply. And so many people have benefited from you learning this. Yeah.
Even that, so my strength is learning, and that learning part also kind of maybe came from doing such things. One,
When you have to help someone, you have to first
no,
figure out what and understand their field or understand their point of view. Nice.
curiosity is triggering innovation. Like, this is what I figured out recently, that things which have done well, why it worked, and things which have not done well, where I missed. I was trying to understand when I went to Isha.
Okay.
And what I figured out was I actually operate like a framework. It is I live as a framework.
Okay.
It's an acronym.
Okay.
I is
What does it stand for? Hello.
I is basically innovation. I like to innovate new things. It could be a jugaad, or it could be a one-time innovation, what I'm trying to do.
Okay.
And from innovation, I try learning. And once I learn, I try iterating with people. I iterate with people.
So first you create or innovate, and then you learn about it.
As a part of innovation,
You learning to create that innovation,
yeah,
and then you iterate around it
yeah,
to get it to
yeah,
Okay, you iterate, and
and then I validate it. So once I iterate and finally validate it, then I basically give that exposure to all. So that's where I get my ultimate satisfaction, when I give that as a knowledge transfer to people. Experience, if I am actually sharing it with people, that's where I get a lot of satisfaction.
innovate,
Learn.
iterate, validate, and make people exposure and experience. And this is something like any piece of work that you pick up. This is how you generally operate, subconsciously you operate this way.
Yeah, whenever I have worked on this way, it has helped, or basically it was successful. Even the AI feedback one which I was doing, first of all I wanted to innovate that because there was a problem statement. And then in the process of innovation, I learned a lot of new things. I iterated with supply team, then validated with officer, then gave it as an exposure to the whole company.
Nice. How is it running now?
It's really helpful, especially 2-3 clients where we have implemented it.
Or to be honest?
No, it has been implemented in around 9 clients.
Okay.
Among that, 2-3 clients are reaping full benefit. Like Odessa is reaping benefit, Siemens Borley is reaping benefit, Mastercard is reaping benefit. So,
And it has to be, pitched to the admin also, saying we are implementing AI based feedback summaries type. So that's something that they would also want to take away and say, okay, we are building innovation into our land operations.
absolutely.
Nice. Interesting, bro. I got to learn how. Actually, this is not only for you. For most people, this will work. The framework that you mentioned is that you learn. I mean, innovate, learn. I think it's like hand in hand.
Okay.
And then you validate, and then iterate, validate, and execute it. अच्छा है एक बनाते हैं लिंक्डइन पोस्ट
I like to put this in structure, and that also.
And you like, I've observed that you like frameworks for you like to use frameworks as many places as possible. And my observation around it is that why, I thought why again, and I know the kind of personality you are. You have so many ideas and thoughts and things going on in your head, generally for a creative person, and especially you, that it can become a mess to put it all together. And frameworks lead like a path to saying, okay, these are step by steps where we can approach this. So yeah,
It is like clarity and chaos. So generally we are in chaos and we have stress because of chaos. So once we have structures, that brings us clarity, and that relieves a lot of pressure, especially with the team, because when we are working with a team, like a big team, a lot of times we have something in mind. If we are not able to communicate it effectively, they might not end up getting right feedback also, or they might not have a right way of approaching a problem as well. Only when I'm able to put this in structure and when I'm making it as a framework, they get the context, and they're also somewhere validating it themselves, saying that is it following in the framework or not.
but I'll just play like little bit of what I've heard on the most of the product side people talk about this, is that all frameworks, something goes something like this. All frameworks are false, some are useful. Something like that. Like frameworks, maybe where that teaching is coming from is that, like when you can you couple first principle thinking and like for any problem, if you want to break down a problem, can you apply first principles thinking to it?
Yeah.
Like in product also, they say go to that. Frameworks are useful if there is no clarity around being able to break it down. But if you are able to break it down into first principles thinking, from problem to what are the root causes, what are the solution space, double diamond that you follow. So how do you compare between that and framework building, first principles thinking versus framework building?
So every day we consume a lot of knowledge, right? If we don't apply it effectively, it is not helpful in any way. If people are able to think first principles and do it by themselves, that's highest priority.
Most people aren't able to build that first principle thing, so that's where frameworks are.
Application of knowledge is best through framework. Like if you are able to do it first principles, I think you don't need framework.
Can we build that muscle also within the company? How can people think from first principles? And I think it's not easy. It's more of like this is what good entrepreneurs do, good product thinkers also do. First principles thing. If we can build that, then it's like a what do you say, a golden skill set within the company.
Right. But by doing first principle thinking, we need to align on many other factors. Like first principle thinking for, let's say, like-minded people is great, but first principle thinking for people who have different values and principle system, and their like let's say go to skill set, if it is different, then again first principle thinking might not help.
So you're saying you need a wider domain, more general domain first principle thinking does make sense, but if it's a more kind of a specific domain, like say design, or like specifically graphic design,
Right.
there it may not be the best way to help.
You need to have like-minded people, or the people who are working for a specific problem statement should have same kind of intent, motives.
Okay.
Frequency should match.
I have another question for you.
Yeah.
More now we're getting away from history, stories and child, more on like lines of philosophies around our approaches toward thinking or mental models, you could say.
Okay.
So, do you feel beauty, especially in terms of from the art point of view, is subjective or it's universal?
Beauty.
Yes.
Okay. From a.
The artistic beauty,
Mm-hmm.
like, well, is beauty in the eye of the beholder,
Yeah, absolutely.
or is it, or can it be universal? Is there something else universal beauty?
I think beauty lies in the eyes of beholder. Why it is said that is also because we have so many senses, right? Like for different senses, the way you see things visually, it can change. Like when you are stressed, even if we are keeping a beautiful desert in front of you, you might not like it. Only if you are
So
interested.
it's situational.
It is situational. It is based on your emotional state. A lot of factors kind of is up. Like it is applicable.
It's emotional state.
Yeah.
So, but say if it's
So is there a framework for? Like beautiful thing is what you're asking.
no, but there, like, I kind of this is a thought which I got just in the morning today itself, that there are certain things which people generally agree universally that it's beautiful, right? Be like things, maybe if you look at nature itself for inspiration, like a peacock, or the majesty of a tiger, or like say even things like Taj Mahal, or like things which people what is this underlying thing which people are now agreeing to, that this is beautiful, like universally, like I've not seen anyone say Taj Mahal is shit or peacock looks disgusting.
That's a great question, great thought. It triggers me to think now, but I don't think I have an answer for it. There might be some reason for that to work.
Yeah. And my connect to this was, how can we get the things that we create and build in SmartQ to that level where it belongs to the category of universal beauty or art that can be universally, because we are a B2B2C at the end of the day, and we have that space where we have to do mass customization that we call, right? But is there like that underlying thing which everyone can really appreciate? And I was thinking of this, it pushed me back to one of the links that I shared on yesterday on WhatsApp on the UI UX group, is like when art or beauty is as close to truth as possible, that's what becomes universally appreciated. For example, what do I mean by truth is, like if you remove all the layers, like for example, when you go to a temple, right, like some of the older temples, then the architecture, it's everything about the architecture, the material, the sculpture is made in devotion of the Almighty. Like that's their truth.
Correct.
When any of these European sculptors, when they were Michelangelo and all of those kind of people, when they were working on their pieces of sculpting, and they had to have a lot of technique to begin with to get those fine detail for each of those body parts. But at the end of the day, it's universally appreciated because I feel they're able to depict reality. Sometimes they say that I'm no longer the artist. It's like something has taken over me, and it is just it's naturally flowing from my head, like in that state of flow.
Yeah.
When you operate from the state of flow, where what's happening there is that whatever intelligence your body and mind has, it's just acting upon that, and you're devoting yourself completely to the art form. Right. Not really putting, like, you're blank.
Correct.
There's no bias, there's no kind of a this thing, the kind of a prejudice around what you're building, and then that creates something which is like so beautiful that everyone can appreciate. That's so how do we get to those moments within the work that we do? And somewhere there's a layer that things where, like, say, Taj Mahal as well, there is a sense of geometric deep symmetry within it. Like, I'm sure there's like a bunch of golden ratios playing around which we haven't measured. Even within the even in nature, it's like we appreciate things which look, we appreciate beauty of the nature, and when people have gone and seen it, it's actually fitting into some kind of a golden ratio of some of these seashells, of the fossils, or even if it's some kind of natural structure which has been made. So I mean, I'm not getting the right examples, but yeah, those are the things I feel is like some underlying principles or directions in which if we build, we can create that level of work. And that, don't you think that will be, people will be proud beyond just working for a company, like proud for generations together when they're able to build something like this?
No, absolutely, I agree.
Timeless art that we can create.
I feel things which maybe nature itself, to take an example, even while studying art, the best study is nature study.
Yeah.
Right. There are a lot of things which has been figured out and made sense. Maybe golden ratio is one of such thing. Like, it is learnt, and then someone has actually scripted it, saying that this is what is golden ratio, this is why it'll work.
Yeah.
Maybe there are more things
like that.
And we might have to
fractals is another space. I mean, it builds on the golden ratio, but fractals is another area of geometric symmetry which talks about how every design can be expressed in form of fractals, which is I think largely in nature. Every design in nature, be it the snowflake or even like the snowflake has a very very beautiful structure, right? Or a nice crystal kind of a thing. So all can be expressed and reduced to mathematics, which is fractals. So it's interesting how two worlds intersect.
Right.
Something which is so abstract like maths, and something which is so creative.
Nice.
So yeah, I think we should at SmartQ maybe like we've seen a lot of trends around behavioral psychology, neuroscience, being able to influence based on human behavior patterns, right? I feel that's okay approach, but it's kind of looking at a human's tendencies, or probably humans shortcomings. Like, for example, why do we crave sweets? Sugar rush, because we have kind of tuned in to load up our carbs as whenever we see them historically, because sugar was so rare in our prehistoric times. So we've been tuned into load sugar, and that's kind of going to give you a lot of energy through the day. Right? And most fast food, most packed food is high on salt and sugar, and it's consciously or subconsciously, it's kind of catering to that human's behavior, which is on loading up on your sugar and carbs. Now every single thing in UI UX or in product development, if we want the user's attention based on such kind of responses, that okay, if we create some content which is polarizing, if we create content which is aligned to which can get a, like, the algorithms run that way, which can grab onto that moment of attention span of the user, and it has, and it all goes down to building for those inconsistencies or forthcomings in the human psyche. But versus, can we build on things which are on nature, which is universally beautifully universal beauty, which is accepted by all, where people feel like, wow, this is something I want to use, I want to be with. So those are the two trajectories that I see that most modern tech companies are going through. Not a very formed explanation, but we can discuss more deeply outside of
I feel that, so the designs where we actually create is more to communicate, while nature is not trying to communicate anything, right? So anything, like you gave example of Taj Mahal, or let's say tree, or maybe peacock also as an example. I don't think there is any communication or a force which is being
there is, like, the peacock is trying to communicate not to us but its mate. So the beauty of the peacock is to attract its partner.
Yeah.
So it's not directly, we are just a passive observer of it.
Correct.
So there's no, what you're saying is that there is no it's the exchange, or there's, the nature is not trying to get something out of you.
Yeah.
It's like a symbiotic relationship with nature. There is a give and take at some level, be it the trees, be it animals, like that, the whole chain of the ecological chains that exist today. There's a lot of give and take at a functional layer. Like just for example, the manure of the cow dung is used as manure for so many plants, and also it wards off so many different types of infections and bacteria, and the cows eat the grass at the end of the day, and so it's like a kind of a small chain over there. The pollination kind of a thing, there is give and take of pollination, nectar for the bees and wasps and insects to build their this thing, but in turn helps pollinate. So there are many such cycles within nature for give and take, and we are like a third person passive observer of that beauty. So that, but yeah, we also are involved in some of those chains today in a very different way.
Right.
But the reason why that give and take happens is for functional need to be met, which is pollination and also the bees to make their beehive. But the whole thing is so, if you from a third person view, it looks so beautiful, right? Like the flowers, the beehive, there's so much symmetry. That whole thing, for anyone, you can appreciate the way it's built. That system.
It's a beautiful thought, actually, Keshav. Need to think of.
Yeah, there is something in this. Maybe if we explore more, we sit down. But yeah, this thought, these examples are just coming off the flight. I hadn't. These were observations
Right.
done long ago. But yeah, the connections and examples are just, understood, coming off the fly. But yeah, I think there is something, I think, for us to take away from this is that what the whole process of creation, how can we make it, how can we elevate that
Right.
with a very deeper purpose behind it, not just for a consumer to see, but how can we make it like universally appreciable is like the underlying thought.
Right.
And I'm sure that is something we can take away. You will take away.
Yeah.
And I will go deep into it.
Yeah, you have triggered a very nice thought, and we definitely think and see what we can do here.
Sure.
Yeah.
But as we are heading into the basement, I would say we are still recording. So we've reached office, and that was the conversation. Last 10 minutes was me rambling. So I think we'll see if you want to put it up. But yeah, thanks so much, Bhaskar, for this
Thank you, Keshav.
time exploring your childhood and helping us understand what is Bhaskar like beyond just SmartQ.
Thank you so much.
It was wonderful understanding your story.
Yeah.
I think we need more episode. This 1 hour episode may not do full justice, but we'll see how we can have one more.
Sure. But it was a great nostalgic trip for me, and concluding with a great thought you have actually sparked in me now.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for this.
Thank you, Bhaskar,
Yeah.
for all that you have been.
I hope viewers also kind of take away something from here.
Yeah.